I don't know what happened or what time, but I had to start. She just felt it's so comfortable. It's so comfortable for her to talk about, and then we were later on.
Did y'all ever have a conversation about what would happen, like, marriage-wise? Like, if y'all would try to do through a marriage or not? Were you involved in the or was it just they're engaged and you're just, like, also there? Or were you also involved in the engagement at any point? Like,
I wasn't. Well, they were engaged.
Was there ever, like, a conversation about, like, what would be like when they got married? The dynamic would be?
Yeah, like, you know, it was kind of the dynamic we had at the time, minus living together. So sometimes we would all sleep together. Sometimes fall asleep wherever we were, you know. But it felt, I guess, natural in the beginning until you started kind of noticing little stuff, like when I would come over and it's like, feel the tension in the room, but they're not really saying anything because they're trying to put on the front for you to get you to stick around, you know. But there was definitely signs I ignored again. That's what I wanted, you know. And trying to figure out what I want to do after basketball, I probably wanted somebody to take care of me too. So, well,
yeah, the security of two people is really
where can you go wrong, right? You know, or
Yeah.
like, you know, try and build something with them. But I was like, no, it's not meant to be. At the end of the day,
it takes a lot to kind of acknowledge that after you kind of build an attachment to someone or to people.
Yeah, I think the biggest front that we put on is that we trust ourselves 100%. I think it's admitting that was your judgment call. Like, you can't really blame them. I mean, they, you know, they weren't 100% in the whole thing, but neither were you. Like, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it next time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I kind of actively try to understand about me still being in my 20s, is I kind of am actively like, I do not make the best decisions. This is not a point in my life where I'm going to make the right decisions or the best decisions or where I know the right thing to do all the time. So, like, I really try to accept that about my current point in life.
Honestly, that's okay as long as you're learning. You know, you're growing. Just don't keep making the same cycle. Because then that's when you start to feel crazy. And actually, that is like the definition of crazy, like doing the same thing over again.
And expecting a different result.
Right, yeah.
So in that situation, I guess, like, you know, kind of when things like end and then there's like attempts to get back together, is usually like, oh, well, I'll do this different, or like this will be different, or like I've learned this, or like this will change, you know? So so with those like promises being made, like, what are some reasons you think that those like attempts to reconcile ended up being unsuccessful in the long term?
I'm not gonna lie, like I did try. Actually, one of the things that I learned when I was with her was so actually getting spiritual help helped me a lot. Without them, I'd probably still be trying to date her. And like, but yeah, hey, if you need it, go mental health, spiritual health.
Yeah.
You know, go get it. You know, there's people out there that can help you, and you shouldn't be ashamed if you need help. So clearly, we're not doing okay on our own. You know, needs help sometimes. You know, if we learn to listen.
So back to the relationship in your earlier 20s, so that kind of ended when she kind of just like ghosted you, basically?
Yeah, I mean, I have my assumptions. Like, you don't know who she is, but I don't want to put words in her mouth. I do think that I know that she had struggled with it, spiritually or religiously.
Like dating a woman?
Yeah.
Struggled? Oh.
Yeah. Her mom was very religious and they were really close. And that always kind of, I don't know how her mom found out, but her mom found out, and my mom, she read her emails. Like, she read some Facebook messages or something. And, you know, she expressed her disappointment and everything. I knew that bothered her a lot. But, you know, who knows at the end of the day.
Yeah, my mom read my diary. Yeah, when I was in
parents
middle
don't
school.
do that. That is such a violation of privacy.
She was like, I thought it was your agenda. I'm sorry.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
As soon as you read Dear Diary, you should have stopped reading.
When I wrote Dear Diary,
Yeah. I know they do it. It comes from a place of love. I pray it comes from a place of love. I know sometimes it comes from like a place of control. But people need that to release, who they are with that security, to feel safe. That's how we express ourselves sometimes, especially if we don't feel comfortable doing it aloud.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that one of my exes read my diary too. It's like I had left her alone in my room when I took a shower, and she was alone in my room, and I just had it like in my nightstand right next to my bed, and like the next day she broke up with me. And
what was in there?
My understanding.
Like, I can't stand this talk.
I think that I had recently written about my my big ex, like my longer relationship when I was in college. I had written about that, and I had basically been saying that I missed being sure about someone, because with that relationship we were kind of arguing a lot, we were having a lot of problems, and I was kind of like I wasn't sure I was in love with her quite yet, and so I was just like, I'm not sure I'm in love with her. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing here. Like, I don't know if like the answer right now is to keep trying or if I should let this go. I was like very confused, and so I was like kind of expressing that I missed my girlfriend in college. I was like, I know I loved her. I was like, the answer with her, it was like always fight for this. I was always sure that's what I wanted to do. And so I was kind of expressing that like I missed knowing what to do, and I was just like confused and like I wasn't sure. But I think so that was kind of what I was trying to express, that I was right. But I think she took it as like I miss my ex. She like basically was like, you're gonna cheat on me with your ex, and like you want to be with her.
It's hard, like as women, like we express our insecurities. I did used to date men. Well, clearly I dated men, but when I dated men just one-on-one, so hard to get them to express like how they felt. Like I could, again, looking back, I could kind of read what it was. It's like insecurity or jealousy or whatever. But it's so hard. It seems so hard for those words to literally come out of their mouths. Like, I'm working on it. I'm insecure. It's cool. We all insecure, let it out, express it. And there it is, now it's not inside you anymore. And you don't feel like you have to take it out on somebody, or express it through anger or, something more than.
Or like overcompensate.
Yeah. I think that was just the type of guy I attracted, and so I still have a frustration with that. But I think that there's still some good guys out there. One of my best friends, or a couple of my best friends are men.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I developed a greater appreciation and understanding for men, actually, after I stopped dating them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Definitely started coming at me differently.
Yeah. I think it's probably kind of the different version that you get if they're not trying to date you versus they're just trying to befriend you. I'd imagine it's kind of two different versions of most men.
The only thing that threw me off is like, as soon as I made it like, or I guess I started posting about it publicly, like I started putting queer images in my art and stuff, or like in my photographs or whatever, more men started like, sliding in my DMs, and I'm like, why is it as soon as I'm like, I'm only interested in women, you guys wanna, like, I know y'all don't just wanna hang out.
Yeah.
Like, where do you think this is gonna go?
Yeah. So then
is that what I said I was looking for? And so sometimes, just get your dick out the way. I'm sorry, but that shit is just like, chopsticks scramble your brain. Because when they do that, they actually end up being like, saying things like, wow, I never would have thought that you felt that way.
I really struggled coping with the first time I kind of had my heart broken, because I'm not really a super emotional person. I'm more of like a bottle it up person, because that's how my family is. So I was kind of raised that way. And then the first time I got my heart broken, I was like feeling so much pain that I couldn't bottle it up anymore. Like I was like bursting into tears, like just in random places. I was like, I couldn't. Literally, like just like when I'm like headed to class on campus, I was like I was a part of like a like a Black girls support group basically, and I went to my meeting and just started crying in the middle of the meeting.
It's my safe space, okay?
Yeah. So it was like I finally kind of had to learn how to cope with emotions instead of like bottling them up. So I kind of like, learned like my own kind of ways to like cope with things. So I guess when you were experiencing like heartache or that type of pain, or like experiencing losing these people in your life, like what were some ways that you were trying to like cope?
Well, I was kind of like you, like, I don't know, I guess I made it a habit of not really expressing myself. I have an appreciation for a lot of men. But yeah, I had that big outburst where it was like, I felt like I had lost like the love of my life. Like it was like Leo, drowning in the ocean, that person didn't die. Like, I think I put so much love into that other person that I didn't have anything left for myself. So when all that felt like it was taken away, it was extremely painful, especially if you didn't have practice in slowly releasing that, it all hit you at once. So there was that. I actually would lose my appetite, like if I'm heartbroken.
Yeah. Oh, I'm like that too. If I'm ever upset, I just don't want to eat anything all day.
Yeah.
Too, still.
Yeah. So I lost weight. But then it was like, I talked to my sister a lot because she'd been through some bad breakups, and she was just like,
let me have her on the next episode.
Right. Yeah. But she helped me through it. I couldn't talk to my mom about it because she still didn't know. My family, we never really talked about being gay in my family. I guess it was just like, oh, you girls can really just get any guy you wanted. Like I would always bring guy friends around, and they would like follow me around like little puppy dogs. So my mom thought that I was like, picking them up left and right and, doing whatever I wanted with them. But no, it was just like, we would just really be kicking it. I would meet them at the basketball gym and we would become friends. But I just made friends. After I got my appetite back, I just kept myself busy and threw myself back into basketball. And that became just my main focus. I played a half a season after that breakup, so it started in like January. But up to January it was rough because again it was another transitional period. I'm already thinking about what's the next step. It wasn't a definite, and then that happened. But it teach you a lot.
Yeah. I would say I also went to my sister a lot. Like when I was going through my first breakup, I feel like I didn't used to like just call my sisters just to like talk. But then when I was going through that, I was like, and so now to this day, I still just like call them just to talk. So I feel like I was like glad that I started to do that when I was going through that, because I couldn't really talk to my mom either, which I also feel like made things more complicated for me the first time I got my heart broken. It was because I just got really resentful. Because I was like, I feel like I really need my mom right now and I can't come to you. And that just made everything worse. Like,
I think I did the opposite. Like I internalized it. Like I want to be able to tell you, but I don't want you to be disappointed in me, But now it's kind of like you gotta be who you are.
Yeah.
Screw it. Yeah.
So I know you said that the one from your early 20s like had just recently like FaceTimed you, but the one in your later 20s, do you still have any contact with the woman or the man?
Yeah, occasionally. But it's never like don't go like grab lunch or anything. We're cool. We're friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are they still together?
No.
So kind of after this experience, was there a point when you felt like you had like closure, or a point when you felt like I'm healed, or like I'm over this, like I've moved past this? Where did you kind of start to feel that?
I don't know if it was any one moment, but it takes a while, and then a lot of stuff from that you find yourself either resenting, or when you see it, it brings up that feeling of resentment. I think when that stopped happening, like you stop changing the radio when a song comes on.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, I had good memories attached to this before all that happened.
Yeah.
When that happens, then you kind of realize, okay, I'm good. You know, like I've learned to love myself and generate that from within rather than outward for it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it didn't take a while, but our processes.
Yeah. I think music is like a really good signifier for me. Also, I didn't think about that before. But yeah, I like go to music a lot because sometimes like if I'm in a mood, I like different music that makes me more in that mood.
Right.
So then when I listen to that song a couple months later and it doesn't really bring back those same feelings, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good now. I can just listen to the song. I just like the song. It doesn't have to be about what I associated it with before. Yeah.
I will say though, there's some albums that I'll go back to now and I'm like, no, this reminds me of Breakup, like in 2013. Like I think Janae Aiko's her mixtape that blew up. Like,
Same, that was mine.
That was the one.
That was mine.
Yeah, I can't listen. I'll be like,
yeah, that was mine too in college. Yeah.
Man, I don't know how many times I had that thing on repeat.
Yeah,
her and probably Jasmine Sullivan, like, throw some Adele in there. Why not?
Yeah, and I think I also so I was going through like my first kind of like drama when that Janae Aiko mixtape came out, and then kind of my next one was when Beyonce's Lemonade came out. I remember I couldn't like listen to the second half of that album because that was like the reconciliation part. We got back together, we love each other again. I was like, I can't listen to that because I always just felt like sad that I never got that because like I was trying. This was like when me and my ex were trying to reconcile, and I was like, we never got that. I just only got the heartbreak part.
Yeah.
I didn't get the makeup part.
Yeah, I think it's because it's like, what could I have done better? And it's like, because I wanted that, or at least I thought I wanted that. Why didn't I deserve it? Like, well, didn't deserve it, but in a good way.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I think I also definitely had to get past. I think I definitely had to get comfortable being like alone after my first breakup, also because I felt like I was always that person that wanted to get married. I was like, I want to get married. I want a relationship. I want to be with someone forever. That's what I want, and that was like a big thing for me. And my ex, that wasn't really her focus. But then after we broke up, maybe like a year later, she got into a relationship with someone she's still with now. And I'm still currently single. And I was just like, wow, like you just got some great, beautiful girlfriend after you've been with for like 5 years now after me. And I've still been single.
I think about that too. Like I just found out my first ex, like she's dating someone. And I was like, I didn't really have a reaction to it. I was kind of like, damn, I kind of wish I had a girlfriend. That same ex, she just told me that she's about to like propose to that girlfriend, and I was just like, wow. Do y'all still talk?
I had to see her for a one of our mutual friends getting married. It's like saw her for the bachelorette party. So yeah, I was like, wow, like, you're getting married. You're about to propose to someone, and I'm still single.
Congratulations! Right. It's kind of like you hope that's not. It wasn't dating you that made them realize something. Mm-hmm. For me, I guess. I've been through that. What if she finds someone? And it's like, what if? You've probably learned so much more about yourself being alone or by yourself than you ever would have being with somebody else.
Definitely.
I think that when it's our goal to like find somebody, I'm not saying it's bad to want love. Like, yeah, want love, okay? But I guess know why you want it. Yeah. Like if you don't have any self-love to give, you probably shouldn't be out looking for love. Because really you're just looking to suck some love out of somebody and dip. Which I know how that feels, which is, why I say that. But it's just know who you are before you get all wrapped up in somebody else, or you allow somebody to get wrapped up in you. And there's no telling when you're gonna figure that out. But if you keep repeating the same things over and over again, attracting the same type of people, the same things keep happening in your relationships, then that might be a red flag. Mm-hmm. Start there.
Yeah, I agree. I think I definitely have valued I think I really needed the time to myself, because I was like, I've definitely like as I was younger, was definitely the person who would give too much to my relationships. So I was like, if I had been dating someone, I probably wouldn't have ever moved from my college town. I probably wouldn't. There's a lot of things I wouldn't have done for my career if I had been with someone, because I give too much to my relationships. So, you know, I kind of had to accept that this was a time when I was supposed to be alone. So would you say from kind of both of these experiences that you kind of like internalized any like triggers or like trauma or just like things that like you're more like aware of? Like I think with one of my exes one time, we had kind of started getting into it in public at one point, and then she was like told me that I was like embarrassing her, and I just felt so like mortified in that moment that I was like, I am now the couple arguing in public and making a scene. And I was like, oh my God. And so I just like feel like I'm still so aware of like outward appearances, like being in a couple because of that. So I guess like, is there anything that you feel like you have like a hyper awareness of, or like are like more triggered by because of those past experiences? If anything.
I'm trying to like, I don't know why. Again, Janae Aiko keeps popping in my head. But I haven't been in like I'll say I haven't been in a serious relationship since the end of it. I've dated unsuccessfully since. I'll say somebody trying to get too close too soon. But for me, it's not necessarily, I might back off. Yeah, it might be a trigger. But it might just be a red flag. Like, no.
Yeah. Like it makes sense, appropriate to get like
but triggers that like will like set me up, I don't think so. I think understanding that people have been shaped by their experiences and things that they have been through, and I haven't been through those same things, helps me understand them better, and not internalize whatever they're throwing at me emotionally or, you know, mentally. But again, that's like a daily reminder. So yeah.
I feel like I also still get really triggered by people like not remembering things the same way that I do. Like when I'm just like, I know this happened, I know you said this, I know this word for word is what you said, and then someone is still like, nope. Because that was like a big part of
well, that's gaslighting. Like,
that's
actually like a narcissistic trait. So you know about that. Like that's I know that I attract those people, partly because of the way I was raised. But it's, again, you have to like, you pick up on the signs. When I had to start like recording, like taking notes during conversations, and then later on, like, I think I saw some video, probably was like, when you have to start recording conversations, like, that's like a red flag. Like, that person is probably gaslighting you.
Yeah, I feel like that just, it drives me crazy. But I did feel like my first relationship, like my first girlfriend, I did feel like, I felt like she genuinely wouldn't remember things. You know, like her, like I believed her kind of in a way that like other people were definitely gaslighting me, but I feel like in her situation, I was like, she literally didn't remember. I feel like a lot of those situations.
And that's possible. But I'm not saying that's not possible, but after so many times of doing it, it's a habit that you don't even want to address. So you do it, you do it, you've been told that you do it, but you don't even want to address the possibility that it may be true. You know, and for me, that's like
butted heads a lot.
That's willful ignorance, and that is something I have developed less and less patience for over the years. Because you can do better. If you know you can do better, why wouldn't you try?
Okay, so this is the last question. So I feel like after kind of a lot of the experiences that I went through, I started to like value like my self-love and like valuing myself so much more and like valuing my independence so much more because of those experiences. So I guess like from like both experiences that you've gone through, like what are things that you feel like you like gained or like learned about yourself, or things that helped you grow, or things that'll make you better for like future relationships from those experiences?
I think I learned a lot. Like there's a reason that people wanted to, I guess, use the energy you were offering up so freely to their advantage and not give it back. Like there's a reason for that. Obviously have something that they want, something that they were getting something out of, and there's a reason that they were attracted to you. I'm not just talking about physical attraction, just like literally attracted to your direction. And I think once I learned that, it was like you're almost able to kind of flip the tables and start looking inward and be like, why did they like me so much? You know, why did they love me so much? What was I bringing to the table that I wasn't able to see that they could, you know? And in that sense, it restored my self-worth, or it gave me some that I didn't even know I had. You know, it allowed me to stop internalizing whatever influencers were telling me to do this or do that, or, oh, you should do this. You're so, you know what I mean? And it's like, let me start trusting my gut now.
Yeah.
Because me listening to the outside noise, it wasn't working for me. And doing that my whole life led me, you know, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. We all learn things at different times, but, you know, it led me down that path that I didn't want to go down again. So, you know, like I said, spiritual help and starting to trust myself.
Oh, that's really important. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate you sharing your story and like opening up and like sharing your perspective and your wisdom, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you can find Blan on Instagram. I will like link your information below so that, you know, y'all can follow what she's up to. Yes.